I'm having a bit of a New Year do-over. My parents have just left. They were here the past 2 weeks. I've just dropped them off at the airport. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to be lying down in the dumps now a little bit for the next few days. I'm going to throw myself into some work. But because they were here, I wasn't worrying about any of my normal routines. I wasn't worrying about laundry or work or anything like that. So there's a lot of stuff that has kind of piled up. I don't even want to think about what my email inbox is like right now. But yeah, I didn't really have that New Year fresh start kind of feeling because I was just focusing on them and spending time with them. Normally what I would do is, you know, everything would get washed on New Year's Eve. Everything would get tidied. I'd have like a certain routine that I wanted to do. I'd have everything planned out. Well, you know, in theory, it never works out fully like that any year. But because they were here, all of that just went out the window. So I'm going to allow myself now to have a little do-over. Yeah, basically pretend like it's just coming up to the new year and do all of the things that I would normally do. First thing on my list is laundry. I'm looking at this big pile here. Some of it is actually clean clothes. So the stuff in the black tub is actually clean clothes that just need to be put away. And then my parents were kind enough, they stripped their beds and they put their towels and stuff there in the corner. And then we just have our regular laundry hamper so that our regular laundry hasn't been done in about 2 weeks. So I'm hoping to get all of that done. I want to get all of the dogs' stuff washed. I want to like look at the food situation and then just plan and prep basically for this new year, quote unquote, that is coming up. So just that I can get that fresh start feeling without having, I didn't want to sacrifice time with my parents, basically. So now I get a second chance at it. And that's what we're going to do. And this laundry is really bugging me. So that's first on the list. Let's go. Set a timer for 1 hour and 5 minutes.
1 hour and 5 minutes, counting down.
Okay, I feel much better now that some form of laundry is on. Anyway, we are out of detergent, so I need to reorder this. So that's something that's going to get done today. And now I want to go down and just tidy up the kitchen a little bit. It's reasonably tidy, but just a few things that need to be put away. And then go through the pantry and the fridge. I was hoping, I normally do my shopping on a Tuesday. Today's Thursday. I was hoping that we'd have enough to carry us through until the next Tuesday, but no, we're out of a lot of things. So I want to go through, make a list. I won't be going today, I'll go tomorrow. Yeah, kitchen next. that didn't take too long, although I will say I was kind of like, oh, I'll just give it a quick tidy, and then I see something, I'm like, oh, just give that a quick spot clean, and before I know it, I'm like on my hands and knees with a toothbrush scrubbing things. No, I didn't go quite that far this time, but I always do that to myself. I'm like, oh, I'll just clean this tiny little thing, and while I'm here, I may as well do, and then yeah, before I know it, everything is taken over. But I've cleaned everything, tidied everything up. My parents' flight has been delayed. Right now, it looks like it's going to be delayed 2 hours, which is fine. They have like a 4.5-hour layover, so it's not too bad. And I'd rather they were delayed on the first leg of their journey rather than the second, because there's more to do in Cincinnati Airport. They have a library there now. I would never leave. I would miss my flight. But very proud of myself though. The house isn't looking too bad, I have to say. I've done, like with all the decluttering I've done over the years, it's much more manageable now. But even before my parents arrived, so usually when we have people coming, I'm like frantically cleaning everything inside. But this time was actually very laid back. Like the house was tidy. It was, for the most part, it was reasonably clean. Although, like, full disclosure, we do have cleaners who come once a week. But yeah, it wasn't actually that bad. I didn't have to frantically do anything. So it was really chill, really relaxed. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks now since the house has had like a proper good tidy. So I'm glad I'm getting stuck in, because I can wipe the slate clean and start on New Year's Day with a lovely, fresh, clean slate. It's really weird to look in the pantry and see my parents' food in here. Just stuff that we wouldn't normally have. And then obviously post-Christmas, like over the Christmas holidays, we got lots of, that they brought over lots of food, which is great. Our neighbors gave us, you know, food as gifts and little boxes of chocolates and cookies and things. So my pantry looks kind of foreign to me right now. So yeah, I want to go through and see what I have. I know there's like not enough good stuff in here, basically. Not enough stuff to sustain us, not enough to make a good, decent meal. A lot of snack stuff, but not a lot of meal stuff. We definitely need bread. Pretty much completely out of bread. I don't know, where's my phone here? I'm gonna make a list. I'm in that, like, because it's New Year, coming up on New Year, I'm in that healthy eating mindset. Like, oh, I'm never going to eat junk again. Yeah, right. I'm only going to eat whole foods and healthy foods and like unprocessed foods. So I'm going to try and be obviously like a little bit aspirational, but also realistic with myself. But yeah, we definitely have enough junk to last us for a while. One of the best things I did this year, well, technically last year, no, because New Year's hasn't happened yet. This year, a few months ago, was to get myself a master shopping list. So I just wrote down all of the things that we tend to buy. And so instead of creating a list from scratch every single time, I can just go through my list and yeah, mark the ones that I need. It's very handy. I go to the store then. I just use the regular reminders app on my iPhone. It's been great. A game changer, let me tell you. It's now evening time. I spent the day kind of ticking off some extra tasks from my list, and I started with doing a really big grocery shop. So I got pretty much everything that we'll need, hopefully, for the next week and a half. I'm hoping it will extend a little bit longer than that, but all the basics. And something I did, which I think is going to be really helpful, I'm one of these people who, I did 2 things actually that are going to be helpful. So first was I organized my grocery list by the layout of the store, but the store is huge. Our local grocery store has like 70 plus aisles, and I visit like 6 of them for the stuff I need. So I skip all of the ones I don't need, but sometimes there are certain things on my list and I can never remember what aisle they're in. So while I was going around today, the things that I needed to get on my list, I made a note on the list of what aisle they are in, because all the aisles are numbered. Hello, doggy. She hears me talking, she's immediately over to see what's going on. That's the first thing I did. That is hopefully going to be really helpful. The second thing, I used to do this way back in the day, like when I first moved out on my own, like moved out of my parents' house, moved out on my own. I created a price book for myself. And what I did was I basically wrote down all the things that I would normally buy. I wrote down the price that I would normally pay, and then I would write down like the unit price, so per weight or whatever. Obviously I was trying to budget at the time, like stretch my money. I never knew if I was getting, if I went to a different store and they had the same thing but it was like a different size or something, I never knew if I was getting a good deal. So I started doing my price book, simple spreadsheet type situation. That worked great for me for a long time. And then I stopped using it because like money wasn't so much of an issue, thankfully, anymore. But we're back to budgeting. So I started one on my phone. I used to keep it in a spreadsheet on my laptop, but I was like, that's not very... She's coming over with a toy. Unbelievable. Hello. It's not playtime. So yeah, I'm hoping that will be helpful in terms of budgeting and just making sure that we're sticking to the things that we need and that I'm getting basically a good deal because the price of groceries. Anyway, moving on from that, did the grocery shop, put it all away, which is the part I hate doing. I don't mind so much grocery shopping. I know a lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. I think it's totally fine, but it's the putting it away. No, I'm not about it. Anyway, after I did that, basically I like stared into the abyss for an hour. I was exhausted. I just went up and like lay on the bed for about an hour, scrolled on my phone. But then, once I had pulled myself together and recharged a little bit, careful, good girl. I put the oven on a self-clean cycle. I did not clean the racks. No, that was not a job for today. After that, I washed all of the dog stuff. She was not happy about it. She's been a little bit discombobulated these past few weeks because first, all the Christmas decorations went up and some of the furniture moved around and her water and her food dish moved to the opposite side of the room, so that had her kind of like out of sorts. And then my parents arrived and that was like a new thing, and then they left yesterday. She was not happy about the fact that I started like pulling the covers off her bed and stuff, but I got them all washed. They've since been replaced, and she is now going around and like sniffing things, giving them the sniff test. She's like licking things to get her scent back on them. I cleaned out her crate, like went in, antibacterial wipes and stuff, wiped it all down. So all of that stuff is now cleaned, sanitized. That's something that I've been meaning to do for a while. And then for the last, I don't know how long, a while, I've basically been planning out how I want tomorrow to go, which is something that I always do. I have to format my SD cards, but I'm currently recording on this one, so that will get done afterwards. And then the last 2 were to review my resolutions from last year, which I did. I'm really happy with how that went. I made myself like a huge long list. I'm always like overly ambitious, but I achieved so many of them. As the year went on, I kind of developed this like goal setting, goal achieving system that just clicked for me. And after that, it was like, I was flying. So I'm sticking with that whole thing. So I reviewed my resolutions, did really well. And then the next one is to create new resolutions. So this year, I'm not creating resolutions in the sense of like year-long things. I'm sticking to smaller goals. So instead of like 2024 resolutions, I've got January resolutions. And that's a big long list, let me tell you. For tomorrow, I've done out my list of things that I want to do. And there's a really good mix, I think, of like productive stuff, but not like, you know, like overly intensive stuff. Just like a little bit of tidying, a little bit of decluttering, tiny little bit of work. Really stuff that's just kind of like due now. And then plenty of rest. So that is going to be my new year tomorrow. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it. I have to say, like all throughout today, I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling any sort of excitement towards it, and I kept thinking like maybe I should push it back because I'm just not in that new year, new me, highly motivated frame of mind. But now that I've like gone through the day, I've cleared off some tasks, I've sat down and I've planned out everything, I feel much better. So tomorrow, today is New Year's Eve. I won't be staying up till midnight. I didn't even do that on the like real New Year's Eve. I was in bed at 11. But yeah, I feel really good about this. Really feeling the excitement now. Happy New Year!